The University of Oklahoma's football program and Ruffin McNeill announced Ruffin will be stepping away from the University of Oklahoma as a football coach. We got to talk about it after the bumper.
Don't be cornering me. Hold up. Time. You got to help me with that corner shit.
What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always college football related, sports related. We have a good time. Today, we need to talk about Ruffin McNeill, who is going to step away as outside linebackers coach at the University of Oklahoma. He said in a statement on the athletic department website, Soonersports.com, that he's stepping away to help with his 85-year-old father and care for him. I think we all wish him the best. We wish his family the best and his father the best. I think many of us understand what that must feel like, to know that you need to take care of your parents, you need to take care of your family. And while it was a really difficult decision for him to say that he needed to do this, he also did what is right for him, what is right for his family, and he's going to move back to North Carolina to help with his father. And I appreciate that. And the timing of this, I think, benefited Lincoln Riley, benefits OU, and certainly we know that there's no good time for this to happen for Ruffin and his family, so our prayers are with him. Now, on the football side of things, this means that Oklahoma is now in the market for two position coaches, with Jay Boulware leaving Oklahoma to go back home to Texas to be the tight end and special teams coach. Now you're looking for another assistant, this time on the defensive side, as yes, Ruffin was not out recruiting with the other coaches during this period where, yes, the dead period is ended. So it was something that we were all keeping an eye on, and we thought that perhaps there would come an opening, and this is what's going on. He said, though, that it's not retirement, so I expect to see Ruffin back. In the meantime, don't say I expect to see him back at Oklahoma at least anytime soon. So Riley is going to be in the market for another defensive assistant, and there could be some moving and shuffling on both sides of the ball here, because we're talking about Cale Gundy perhaps moving back to running backs coach, but I know that many folks want to see DeMarco Murray come back home. Malcolm Kelly also feels like he's in the mix for an opportunity to return to Oklahoma as an assistant coach. We're also in a place where Will Johnson was made a grad assistant, a defensive grad assistant at Oklahoma this semester. Zach Hanson also was coaching at Kansas State. He could get an opportunity on the offensive side of the ball. We all know that a fan favorite has been Chip Viney for some times. Both of those guys have been position coaches. Viney at Nevada. Perhaps he gets an opportunity to coach maybe the defensive backs, maybe the cornerbacks at Oklahoma, and Roy Manning could move back to his more natural position of coaching outside linebackers. There are a lot of options on the table right now, but this is also an interesting time because many of the coaching jobs are still, one, there's moving and shuffling going on all over the country, and two, they're getting sewn up pretty quickly, right? Because we're finding out who's important to which program and how much guys are in demand. Matter of fact, earlier today, Jorge Munoz was announced that he's going to go to Baylor to be the wide receivers coach. He was an offensive analyst, and many credited him with helping situate Joe Brady in LSU's system and thought that he might be the heir apparent to that passing game coordinator gig. LSU kind of sort of on fire right now, and the defensive coordinator's gone, the passing game coordinator's gone. Now the guy that you might have thought would step up and do that job is gone. Bo Pelini has basically said, take my name out of it. I'm going to stay at Youngstown State. And now Oklahoma with an offensive and defensive opening. Going to be interesting to see who Alex Grinch taps, who he would like to join his staff. It's going to be interesting to see who Lincoln Riley taps and who might join his staff. I know there are a number of guys that we all are keeping our eyes on, as Mike Leach is still also filling out his staff. I wonder if Lincoln Riley and Mike Leach might pull from the same pool of coaches, because we know that so many have been a part of that air raid, and we also know that Mike Leach has given so many jobs to guys at Oklahoma. I mean, he worked with Cale Gundy, but Bill Bedenbaugh worked for him. Dennis Simmons worked for him. Lincoln Riley worked for him. Alex Grinch worked for him. Odom, Manning, all of those guys. I'm fascinated by this because this also means that we get to identify up-and-coming coaches that fit what Riley's trying to do, or maybe he goes to a seasoned veteran, a guy that has been a position coach for over a decade, and a dude that could absolutely help him. That's what Bob Stoops did with Jay Boulware when he brought him in to help with special teams. Also, what does this mean for Schein Beamer? That's going to be terribly interesting to me because he's right now the 10th assistant and offensive assistant and H-back special teams coach. Love to see him stay working with special teams. Does he continue to work with the H-backs and tight ends? Does he get moved to inside receiver? Does he get moved to running backs? This is all fascinating and interesting, and I wonder how much of this is going to be Riley just saying, hey, I want to go higher outside of the organization because we've always gotten better with me doing that, or how much of this is him wanting to elevate some of the guys that are already on staff. I know guys like Ty Darlington are, well, in demand and fan favorites. You're also going to mean that if you elevate an analyst, that means you get to go get another analyst, right? It means that you might be able to bring somebody else back into the fold. I mean, I've been wondering aloud for some time what's going on with Tyler Tettleton. You know, that seems like an up-and-coming offensive guy. A lot of options here for Riley, but right now, our thoughts and prayers are with Ruffin, who has said, and I believe him, wants to come back and coach. He is not retiring. He's just stepping away for a while. I'm sure that if there is an available spot when he's ready to coach again at Oklahoma, Lincoln Riley would not hesitate. I know what that relationship must mean to both of those men. Riley holds Ruffin in the highest esteem. And I'm also going to be watching, like you, how does Riley adapt to not having Ruffin on staff? Remember, he's basically been with Ruffin since Texas Tech, save a couple of years, right? Because he came to Oklahoma, he was offensive coordinator, and as soon as he got the head job, he brought Ruffin with him to help him figure out how to do this. And their relationship has been very important. And I've said that alone is worth Ruffin on staff. If you don't believe in anything else, that alone is worth Ruffin on staff. Now, this also, it comes at a time when Joey McGuire has committed committed to stay and at Baylor as a coach, and we'll figure out what that means for him going forward. But that was obviously a guy that could have gone on either side of the ball for Oklahoma, and y'all know all the ways in which he could have helped with recruiting, that he could have helped all the ways with, maybe you need a defensive coach, maybe you need an offensive coach, gives you tremendous flexibility, and gives you a made man in Texas. One of the things to watch, will Lincoln Riley go and get a high school football head coach for Texas with tremendous prowess? All things that are going to be very interesting, but that's the news, and we will talk about it as we move forward. All right, that's it for me. Deuces.